Hello again, guys. It's Michael McCormick here with just another little talking point. This is called Michael Talks. Anyway, Michael Jackson was leading us in there with a good song called Beat It. And that's exactly what I'm going to be talking about here for the next couple of minutes. Is, folks, we need to beat it. Over the past year and a half, really, we've had something called the coronavirus. And if you don't know what the coronavirus is by now, you've been living under a rock, folks. It has been everywhere. Let me tell you, on March 10th, I was sitting in my dorm room down at Salisbury University in Salisbury, Maryland. I got an email saying that when you go home for spring break, please prepare to take everything that you need for at least 3 weeks. Then I got another email saying that after spring break, we'd be shut down for 2 weeks. So all of a sudden, it turned into a 3-week break. I thought, fantastic. About 3 days later, get another email. We're not coming back. I started to think, wow, well, something is changing here. Over the past year, let's just look at a little bit of the things that's happened in the past year. Past year, mid-March, we got the NCAA March Madness canceled. Started up, got canceled. We had the NBA shut down. Rudy Gobert was the first player in major sports that got the coronavirus. All of a sudden, we had everything being shut down. What happens after that? We get the MLS, the NBA, the NASCAR, everybody being shut down. Totally fine. Alright? Keeps going on. What happens after this? Mask mandates. Mask mandates. Mask mandates. Mask mandates. Being put in every place that we look. Suddenly, we're having Governor Hogan talking to us every day. We're having President Trump at the time with his coronavirus task force. We all find out who Anthony Fauci is. Let's look at somebody before March 1st of 2020. Try to tell me who Anthony Fauci is. They probably couldn't tell you. Over the past year, we have had more change in the past year than has probably changed in the past 30 years. That's not to say that a lot of things haven't changed. Okay, so when we're looking at a timeline of COVID-19, just looking at here, January 9th of last year, WHO, which is the World Health Organization, reports a mysterious virus, which later turns out to be coronavirus in Wuhan, China. Let's fast forward a couple weeks. WHO issues a global health emergency on January 31st. We in America are still not hearing a lot about it. 4 days later, on February 3rd, the United States declares a public health emergency. Suddenly, we go from nothing to full steam. The Trump administration declares a public health emergency due to the coronavirus outbreak. Let's fast forward a little bit more. 21 passengers on a California cruise ship test positive. This was from a Carnival cruise ship, March 6th. On March 11th, the coronavirus 19 is declared a pandemic. March 13th, Trump declares a national emergency. Suddenly, you have restrictions. You have borders being shut down. California issues a stay-at-home order on March 19th. March 16th, I'll add, was my 21st birthday. Did not get to do much. Walked into a casino in Dover, Delaware. The security guard told me they'd be shutting in about 2 hours. Something I'm always going to remember. We, as a society, will get through this. Over the past year, when I first got sent home from Salisbury University, all my jobs were shut down. Everything. I had a job at Salisbury University. I had a job with Steve Moody, which did entertainment, photo booths. You can look at all this in my website. Everything was being shut down. St. Peter and Paul, athletics, Chesapeake College, athletics, everything. What did I do? I came home, I was fine for a couple days, then I got bored. Walked into Target, saw they were hiring, walked in, got a job interview, been there. I started there on March 28th was my day of orientation. I got hired same day. They needed people. I've been there for the past year. I have seen the progression of the coronavirus in real life, folks. I myself have gotten the first vaccination. With the vaccination, we are going to get back. Recently, we are finding out that the number of people that are being vaccinated is about 2.1 million people a day. Sounds great, right? All right, well, we need to be able to up that. We need to up that. The reason why is the faster we get people vaccinated, the faster we get back to normal. I'm not a huge vaccinated guy, but I did get it. What I have been told by Brian Cotter, which is the director of pharmaceutical services for the University of Maryland system, what he told me is that the coronavirus vaccine is like a basketball team. What I mean by that is going into a basketball game with not being able to know anything about your opponent on the first day. Instead of having a practice, you have a game. All of a sudden, you get shell-shocked. Not much changes to you. You get through the game, everything's fine. Well, then you realize what you have to do in order to not have that happen again. You then have your next game in about 3 weeks, and you're not having that happen again. You are going to bludgeon yourself to death to make sure you win this battle. It is the same thing with the vaccination, folks. Your body realizes what it has to do, and then when it gets that second dose, 28 days later, either Moderna or Pfizer, it knows what it has to do. It knows how it has to beat it. This is why so many people are getting sick. I talked to Jen Morgan, which is an ER nurse at Shore Regional Health System here in Easton. She told me that the sicker you get, the better off you are. She doesn't mean that just to throw that out there. She means that the sicker you get, the more your body has built up immune system, more your mRNA is working. I don't understand all the health behind it, but I'm taking people's words for it. CDC recently here has issued new guidelines on what mask mandates are. They're saying that vaccinated people don't have to wear a mask. Now, that's not saying that you can just suddenly stop having all your masks in general. Now, some states have repealed their mask mandates, like Texas and Florida, Alaska, just to name a few. We here in Maryland, we still have a mask mandate, folks. Do not go out and pretend that it does not exist, because it does exist. People are getting sick. People are still in the hospital. Now, we are on the down end. We are doing better, but it is still out there. We are going to beat it. As Michael Jackson says, we will beat it. Now, I'll continue to say this. The world we live in is changing. I have done more interviews on Zoom. I have done more classes online. I go to Salisbury for one class. One class. I'm in the car longer than I'm in school. There has never been a time in my life where I have ever thought about going to school for one class. All the rest of them are online. If you look back in our history, the fact that we changed so quickly is astonishing. Now, we already had this stuff in place, but if you look where we were, let's say, for example, on March 9th and then March 10th, when we issued these guidelines and we got that email, Salisbury, we got shut down. We shut down everything. The fact that we changed from A to Z and skipped all the in-between is astonishing, folks. Now, it's not to say you had road bumps along the way. I mean, heck, you couldn't find a roll of toilet paper for about 3 months. It was on the black market. You had to look everywhere. The coronavirus vaccine will change things. The coronavirus has changed things. The way we rebound, the way we fix this, the way we prevent this in the future is going to be how we succeed. Coming up, we'll be talking to Brian Cotter, the Director of Pharmaceutical Services for the University of Maryland System, and see some of the things he has to say. But I also have another person that we'll be talking to. His name is Ron Andrews. Ron Andrews, he's been affected by the pandemic. He lost his job for about 3 months. He's still not back to where he should be. He is a marketing, promotion, and content creator for Preston Automotive Group. He helps make commercials. He helps make advertisements. When car dealerships are shut down, folks, there's no way to make an advertisement. Now, everything that he's been doing for the past 28 years is changing. I don't mean car commercials are changing and going away. What I mean is people buying cars online. Carvana is booming. Things are changing. We're not going to be having in-person meetings that often anymore. Ron Andrews is going to tell us how everything on the marketing side of companies are changing. How he has to adapt. And how we have to adapt. There's some other key points I'm going to add in here. And how life is just going to be different. And that's what I want to say. It's different. But we get through this. And we will be okay. There's not a day that goes by that I don't think about, okay, what's it going to be like in 3 months? What's it going to be like in 2 months? Are we going to go backwards? Are we going to go forward? I don't know. And it's hard to think about the fact I can't remember what times were like without mask. It's weird. I walked into Target the other day, and there's a cart cleaner there. And like I mentioned before, I clean carts. I had to ask one of my managers, what did we do before we had a cart cleaner? Who gave people carts? I don't remember. Anyway, we'll be talking about more of that stuff when we get back. Once again, Michael Jackson, he's telling us to beat it, so we're going to beat it.